Inside Thursday night, how's it going? Alright, strip back, good crack, multi-trade podcast. Share the knowledge you know, help to make our sector grow. Everybody's learning from experts and the journeymen. Insights.
Right, we're back. Bonus episode. Had to keep the listeners happy while we're waiting for season 6 to kick off.
We really are the gift that just keeps giving, aren't we, Sivo?
I know. I think we're too kind. We're too kind. But before season 5 finished up, I put an Instagram story out to our followers asking for some anonymous questions to be sent in. They could be opinions, questions, or just a bit of a laugh that they wanted us to answer or talk about. So I guess you've put some things together there for us to go through, have you?
Yeah, so the first one, we're going to say anonymous with the...
Anonymous, yeah.
Yeah. So the first one, right? So answer this one. And don't lie, right? Have you ever fixed something by turning it on?
Oh, Jesus. Fix something by turning it on. Oh, probably my marriage. No. I definitely think I've definitely done the old, turn off and back on again trick on a few things and made it out to the client then that I've done some Superman job. And
How long would you wait before you actually go down and tell them that you fixed it?
Oh, no, you have to get to 2 hours. You don't get paid unless you're there for 2 hours.
You have to go into eat into the second hour.
Yeah, you have to, yeah. It's the only way you can make any money and obviously keep your credibility,
Well, I got called from a woman in my housing estate, so I won't name her, but got a call from her first of all to say the immersion wasn't working. The usual. There could be a couple of things that could be wrong there, and got a phone call. Then she organised the plumber, so the plumber came up before me. He rang me and said, "Look, everything looks good on my end. There's something not right here." So went round to the house, looking at the immersion switch. No power on the immersion switch, right? So took out a few towels. Lo and behold, there was an immersion, the time clock that wasn't turned on. So I just stood there for about half an hour and turned it on. But I actually, there was no getting away with it. I had to bring the woman in and tell her,
shower.
Yeah, you have a second switch here.
Yeah,
And,
similar. I've it's just brought back memories now of getting called out to a job, and lights not working.
Yeah,
and I walk in. You do the walk through the building with the
scoping out.
See what could it be. Maybe it's a tripped breaker or. There's a driver gone or something, but sure, I get down to the room anyway, and the girl says, "Look, these 6 lights are not working in this room." And what did I do?
Turn the switch on.
Desperate,
now.
She was so used to sensors that she forgot that you can turn lights on with switches. It's crazy. Like that's the world we're living in now.
Oh, you get one of them in one click. It's nice when you get them, though, isn't it?
It's good when you get them, but at the same time, it's
how do you charge?
Yeah, but it's not boding well for the future of humankind, is it? I'm having a look through here. Let me see what one I can pick for you. There's a few shocking ones here.
About being shocked, maybe.
Yeah, well, that's the one I'll go for. Actually, have you ever, or can you remember the first time you got shocked?
I can't remember the first time, but I can remember the last time because it was a bad one.
Yeah.
My own fault. I was using an impact driver with a long shank bit in a live fuse board. It was a restaurant, so couldn't, at the time I was torquing up the breakers just to make sure they were all tight. And did you ever hold a screw gun but hold it like a gun?
Yeah.
And you put your finger up alongside it? So my Milwaukee drill into the live terminal of the cooker. and put my finger up along the thing, got a bang across my chest, and I had to say I took about 20 minutes to kind of realise the stupidity that I'd done, and
That actually
makes you.
it explains a lot, actually.
That's what's happened to me. Yeah. Last few episodes were dodgy enough, weren't they?
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Some fright though.
It does. It makes you up.
It makes you think, like.
Yeah. I think the last shock I had was it was in a pub. It was just putting together one of these, switch banks, and you've got the first layer in, you've got the guts of it in, and then you're putting the plate of it on,
Yeah.
and the lugs were far back in there,
Yeah.
and I'm there and I'm trying to get the screw in, like, to try and find where the lug was, and I'm holding this little tiny screw, like, I'm just
poking around
trying to find the lug, like, and went straight into a common terminal or whatever it was, and my fingers just got stuck to the screw, like. So your woman's looking over at me, the bar lady, and I'm just there, like, looking at her, like, and I'm slapping the hand off myself, like, trying to get it off. But it's one of those where, we've spoke about things on the podcast before, and you can have a laugh about, working safe and those little corners you cut, like, where, people say you shouldn't be working live. And I think when those little moments happen, you start to realise,
kind of puts you back in check, doesn't it?
Just maybe go over and turn off the breaker, and then you'll have a better day,
Next question then, okay? I like this one because I've got a good story for this, but I'll let you answer first.
Yeah.
What's the funniest prank you've pulled on an apprentice?
Oh. I don't know if I've told this one actually before. I might have, but there was a couple of them. I'll go one of the first sites I was on. There was myself and a couple of the lads were doing an emergency lighting install, and the emergency lights were being taken down. So I was a part of the prank, but I wasn't the instigator of it. But there was another apprentice there at the time, so I just played along with it.
You had your role in.
Yeah, I had my role in it, and I didn't want to be the one that was being pranked. So we handed this apprentice an emergency light that obviously had a battery pack in it, so the light was still lit.
Yeah.
And they handed him this light, like, and they told him, like, he can't put that down, like, because, the potential, like, he'll be live, like, you know what I mean? So if he puts that light fitting down, like,
getting lifted,
he'll get lifted out of it, like. So he was 3 hours just standing there and walking around with this emergency light fitting in his hand, going past the window and walking back and forth. And
you seen him throughout the day, basically walking around with this light,
just walking with this light in his hand, and it's just one that stuck with me. Another one I remember. Do you ever have the pranks for the shopping list, the apprentice shopping list?
Yeah, I know them well. Yeah.
Used to send lads down to the shop, like, so you'd be getting the breakfast rolls, or if it was lunchtime, it'd be the chicken fillet roll. The lads would be sticking, Snickers on, or a packet of wine gums, or Starburst, or a packet of crisps or whatever, and you'd slip a little, packet of strawberry Lillettes in, So the lads would be going down
up to the tail,
They can't find the strawberry Lillettes in the sweets aisle, so they'd be going up, like, saying, "Where's the strawberry Lillettes?" So I'll admit I was actually caught out with it as a first year. I didn't have a clue what a Lillette was, like. So when I was caught out with it, I made sure that
someone else was getting it. Yeah.
I passed on that one.
It's a rite of passage, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's free for anyone to use there.
Yeah. My one was, it's kind of a very it's more, you kind of need to be there type of thing, but I'll explain it as best I can. So we're doing a rewire down the country. Complete gut out of a job. Came to, the plasterboards going up. So there was 2 sections to the house. So if you can imagine, there's 2 attics. You could get from one attic to the other through a truss. Now this house was in the sticks.
Yeah.
And it was an old house just being refurbed, but it was one of these mouse rat infested things before it got the gut out, like,
Yeah.
And we were doing downlights in the kitchen area, which was so you got up in the attic. It's a bungalow. You got up into the attic in the sitting room area, but then you had to make your way into the second attic, which was down at the kitchen area. So we were doing downlights in the kitchen, so we pre-cut the downlights, you know, and still the old bit of the old insulation was up in the roof space, you know, and so I had the 8 downlights cut open. Sent the apprentice up, said, right, I'm going to pass the cabling up, you're going to loop it around the downlights, you know, as you do. So I don't know if you ever YouTubed rat noises on YouTube. Have you ever looked it up to get the sound?
Yeah.
So what I did was I had a brush, right? A brush, the end of the brush, sat the phone up above into one of the downlight holes with the rat noises squeaking, and start moving the insulation.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I never heard someone to run so quick across an attic in my life. And I took the ladder away from the hatch as well. Yeah. And he jumped down through the hatch onto the ground and nearly crippled himself.
You tried that on me when we were doing a rework.
Oh, I did it to you as well, actually, in our auntie's house,
yeah.
Or in our, yeah.
I just seen the little pinky finger coming through the hole. I knew it was you messing. Right, Keith, time enough for a break, and the perfect time to give a shout out to our sponsors, Robus Lighting, the world's leading LED lighting company. Whether you're an electrician, a contractor, or somebody who just appreciates good quality lighting, Robus has you covered.
Absolutely, Stephen. From energy efficient LEDs to smart lighting solutions, Robus delivers innovation, reliability, and style, perfect for any project.
Make sure you head over to robus.com, download their app, and find the perfect lights for you.
Back to the interview, Steve-O.
It's another one actually, now that you're talking actually about rodents and stuff. I was working on a big job in Dublin city centre, and there was a load of us there, so I think the whole company was there at the time, so you had every apprentice there from first year to fourth year, you know?
Yeah.
And pretty much all the qualified lads, like, so any type of trick that was being ever used, like, between any apprenticeship was being rolled out on that site, like, you know?
Showcase.
So we were there anyway, and it was all fishing work, like, so you had, like, trunking the whole way through the corridors and tray the whole way through the corridors, and you had this batch of first years, and you know, you'd have 4 or 5 floors, like, so you'd have the basement car park, and that's where
lambs to the slaughter.
Yeah. Well, look, at the basement car park was the congregation area of all the gear, you know. So you'd tray, the trunk, and you'd have all your fish wires, you'd have all your cable, the whole lot, like. So if nobody likes making the trip, you know, up and down, like, to get to grab anything. But one of the days, anyway, we were running cables down along the trunking, and the deadpan, you know, Sparks that I was working with, he was a bit like one of these, you know, like 50-year-old Sparks, like, so he's been through it all, like, you know, just turns to one of the apprentices and was like, we need you to get the ferret out of the basement. He's down there in the cage in the basement, and the apprentice is looking at him like, you're taking the piss, like, you know what I mean? But you're like, you all have to fall in line, don't you? Like, once you know it's a joke, like, everybody else falls in line, like, so you're like, no, we used it last week, like, you know what I mean? It's the ferret there, like, so what you do is you attach a bit of food, like, and you put the ferret in, and you just tie the cables onto the back of the ferret, like, and the ferret will smell it, and he'll run your cables the whole way down, like, you know what I mean? And it's done in half the time, like, so you're running all these singles down with this ferret, like, but your man was down in the basement, and he rings down to the foreman, so the foreman's sitting down in the basement, has his table set up, the whole lot, like, so they've given him the heads up down there, you know, that whatever his name, Johnny's coming down for the ferret, you know what I mean? So your man's telling them, like, yeah, the ferret's there, like, you know what I mean? So go look for it, and he's coming back up, like, saying he can't find the ferret, like. And he was like, oh, somebody else must be using it on the floor above, like, go on up and grab it off them, like, you know. So, like, he's going around for like an hour, I'd say an hour and a half, like, looking for this ferret in the building, like, you know. It's just, these things have never come to your mind. So this prank must have been played on this fella, and he just rolled that off, because how could you come up with anything like that, you know?
Brilliant.
It's unreal. I've one here. Let's see what we got. What is the weirdest thing a customer has asked you to do?
Weirdest thing they've asked me to do. I'll give you the weirdest thing, and it's a weird thing for me to say, to be honest. It's something that happened to me and one of our apprentices a couple of months ago. So, as you know, we're domestic Sparks. So, you know, you take your 10 o'clock break, you take a small one at 1 o'clock. We usually have our lunch at 10. Which is weird, but however. So we were working on a big house out in Malahide, me and one of my apprentices, and lovely woman there, the mother of the owner and her sister. They were minding the house while we were doing a car charger. They were minding the house while the family were away. So it was the sister and the mother. And lovely people. And we're like, now lads, today yous aren't buying yous our lunch. Yous aren't buying your lunch. We're gonna feed yous. We're like, me and Josh were working there, and it was a lovely big house. Lovely. The sun was out, back garden, and everything. It's like, that's grand. Now these are gonna sort. We don't even have to go to the shop. They're gonna sort us out with food at 10 o'clock. Like, you know, it's 10 o'clock came, and you know the usual stomach is hanging out. You wouldn't have a breakfast, like, you know, that'd be starving, hanging. No sign of any lunch being made, you know. So me and Josh were like looking at each other like, Jesus, what do we do? Yeah, what do we do here? Like, we're going to die, like, you know what I mean?
Start eating each other.
But yeah, 11 o'clock came, no sign. 12 o'clock, no sign. Like, we're nearly disintegrating now at this stage. Like, we're nearly gone. Next year, woman starts making a bit of a stir, you know. Now, lads, we're going down to the shop. Don't worry, we'll be back with the grub. We'll be back. So we were like, right, grand. So it's only down the road, like. So we kept going anyway. Next, she came back. I was in the middle of doing a light, and you could hear her banging the plates, and you know the kettle was boiled, the whole lot. You could hear the biscuit wrappers were being rustled.
Hands rubbing together.
Oh, Jesus, yeah. I was struggling now at this stage, like struggling. But next I looked outside, and I seen Josh sitting outside at the table, and the look of sadness in his eyes. Almost crying, like. He just was shaking his head at me, looking through the window, like, you know. Very dramatic, like, you know. And I walked out to him, and I was just like, what's wrong? You see the plate? There was a plate of like sandwiches and all there. I was like, what's wrong with you? He just opened the little bit of brown bread, like little circular brown bread. Just opened it. It was sweet corn, mayonnaise, and tuna.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And I don't like any of those items.
God, torture.
And there was about 16 sandwiches there. So I ate 3 of them just to be nice. Josh stuffed about 7 or 8 of them in his pockets.
Yeah.
I fed one to the dog.
I'd be the same.
Yeah, but I was that hungry I had to eat it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I said, at least we've the biscuits. At least we've the biscuits. We'll survive on the biscuits, like.
Ginger biscuits.
She came out with the biscuits. I don't know, did you ever have a lemon?
Oh God.
A lemon, do you know, like they're like plasticky, what are they, like, it's what your grandmother would have ate.
I remember them, yeah.
Lemon curds or something they were.
That sounds,
it was horrible. It's not funny at all, is it?
The worst part is that because she thinks that you loved it and you let them all, that she'd probably make it for you the next day.
No, we weren't there. We made sure we got the job done.
Be out of it. That's probably why she did it.
Hurry us up.
I think mine's not as, I don't know, it's not as scary as that. But mine was, I got asked out to do a job like from a girl in the office, you know, wanted a job done in the house. So I said, yeah, no bother, I'll go down and have a look at it for you. See if it's worth my while, that type of thing, you know what I mean? Or see if it can be done, you know. So you're getting this conversation off them, you know, just a couple of extra sockets in the house, you know, like there's a part of the, you know, the kitchen or wherever it was, the dining area, need a couple of sockets over there near the table because the kids are using, you know, appliances or like, you know, tablets and stuff.
Yeah.
On charging their phones or whatever. So I was like, yeah, no bother. I got these Wi-Fi sockets. Can you fit them for me? I was like, yeah, no bother, you know. So I get there anyway, and she's like,
oh Jesus,
can you put these Wi-Fi sockets on the wall there? Just 2 of them, one on this side of the table, one on that side of the table. And I was like, yeah, no bother. I just need to, you know, just have a look and see where the nearest point I can tap off, and you know, what type of wall is it? Like, is it, you know, is it plasterboard or is that a concrete wall? So she goes, oh no, I just want them put on the wall. Like she said, like they're Wi-Fi, you know. I was like, what do you mean by that? And she goes, they're Wi-Fi, so they just work off the Wi-Fi. And I said, no, that's not how it works. Like, you know, I said, you wire them like normal sockets, and then they boost your Wi-Fi. And she couldn't believe it. She thought that she literally could buy a socket and just stick it on the wall anywhere in the house and it'll work through Wi-Fi, you know.
That's terrible.
For anybody that's not an electrician that's listening now,
that doesn't work.
It doesn't work, but it's the funniest thing that's And it's hard to keep that type of laughter in, like when you're talking to a client, because you're trying to explain to them that. And I didn't get the job out of it because she changed her mind. She didn't want the work done because she literally thought she had.
She thought she was winning.
Yeah, she thought she'd found like some
Revolutionary
product, in fucking, I don't know,
Woodies or whatever.
Woodies or something. Yeah, there is other type of places you can buy stuff from.
That's gas. That's brilliant. And note to anybody else out there that solar lights do not work unless you have daylight or sun.
Oh,
they don't work in alleyways, just so you all know.
I guess.
Do you want another one, or what do you think?
I guess we'll save some for next. Another bonus episode, do we?
Yeah, 100%.
Big shout out to everybody that got involved and sent in the questions. We do it anonymously because I think it makes people a bit more comfortable to be able to send stuff in.
Yeah.
And a bit of crack, and I guess we'll roll on with the planning of season 6 that's just around the corner.
Exciting times.
We'll see you very soon.
Thanks for joining us.
Inside Thursday night, how's it going? Alright, strip back, good crack, multi-trade podcast. Share the knowledge you know, help to make our sector grow. Everybody's learning from experts and the journeymen.